Let's talk about rubrics in Canvas. If you create rubrics to go with your assignments, it can not only clarify expectations for your students, but can also make the grading a lot quicker and easier. This is a Canvas course in which I kind of collect a bunch of the rubrics that I've made in the past. If you navigate over here to the left-hand side, you can see any rubrics that you create for that class. They will all gather in one place. Even if you created them individually on the assignments, you'll be able to come back here to the Rubrics tab and see all the rubrics that you've created within this course. For example, I do a lot of poetry responses in my English 3 class, my English 11. So if I click on poetry response, I can see the traditional rubric that I've created here. This is what it will look like when I'm grading the students. So here are their requirements. What is the author trying to convey? Did you get full marks or no marks for this one? For some of these, I can change the view so I can see my rubrics a different way. For each rubric, I'm able to not only click on which scoring guide I think they should have, I can also leave comments, particularly on that element of criteria for the rubric. So was the student able to get the author's message? Yes or no? Did they essentially know what the author was talking about? And then I can leave them a note, yeah, you got it, or maybe not quite, have you looked at this? I can leave comments specifically on elements of the rubric, which is really nice. When you're grading, you'll just be able to click, 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 1, 2, 3, leave a comment or two, and it's done. It makes the grading a lot faster, and it also allows you to clarify what exactly you're looking for and how many points you want to assign for the particular student. This is kind of the traditional rubric view. They've recently introduced these like vertical to the side. You can click which versions you want just to save a little bit of space on your screen. I've got lots of different kind of rubrics here with different options. For example, we did Raisin in the Sun, the play. They had to take notes on the particular scene, so they could either get full credit or for partial credit. Notice that there are qualifications, there are criteria built into the actual partial credit options. So maybe you didn't quite answer all of the questions, you not enough detail accuracy. It can specify specifically within the rubric. And you can look at all the rubrics that you've created here on the rubrics page. You can also create new ones. So for this one, if I want to say the orientation class, I'm going to do a rubric for orientation. For this new one, something about like sharing. How well did you share your name? I can have criteria in here for, did you do really well? Did you exceed mastery in sharing your name or in sharing things during orientation, whatever. You can describe here all the things that you're looking for. You can give each one a name. You can change the amount of points, and it will alter up here as well, that each category is worth. You can take categories away. You can add categories wherever you like, or add point ranges rather, not categories. So it's up to you how customizable you want this particular rubric to be. You can make whatever you want. When you've made these rubrics, you can make them available to students. For example, this is that poetry response talked about. I made an assignment. I listed out all of the things that I wanted the students to do in their response, and I attached a rubric to that assignment. So the students can see here, I'm looking for 3 criteria. Each category is worth a different number of points because, like we said, we can customize that for each criterion in the rubric. So altogether, this assignment is worth 6 points. The students send me their submission, and I can click, 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 how well did you do on your response when I'm grading. The way I attach that is here. If I create an assignment, a blank assignment in Canvas, at the bottom, not inside the editing the actual assignment. It won't be, if you click to edit assignment, you won't be able to add the rubric. You add the rubric once the assignment is complete or when you're outside of the assignment. So here, I'm not actually editing the assignment itself. Can't click in, can't do anything here. I'm going to come to the plus rubric here at the bottom. This is going to automatically create a blank rubric for me. I can build a rubric for this particular assignment. Or if I do one of these assignments, maybe this is a weekly assignment, I'm going to do it every week and I want to use the same rubric each time. I can find a rubric, and these are all the rubrics I've already created. These are past Canvas courses that I've taught. These are all the rubrics that were within that particular class. So if I said this is from a satire assignment, maybe I want to use this assignment or this rubric. I can use this rubric and it will attach it to that particular assignment. Once I'm inside, even though I've imported this assignment, I can still change things, I can edit them, I can move them around, I can tailor the qualifications for each category. You may get a warning sign if you're using this rubric in more than one place that says, hey, you're using this rubric in multiple places. If you alter it here, it's not going to alter it everywhere, just be aware. That is something to pay attention to. But if you come down here, you can alter all the points, you can alter the requirements for a rubric. You can also click I'll write freeform assignments. This takes away all of your points and just lets you write out comments. What do you want to say for students? You can still alter the point requirements, but instead of clicking, 1, 2, 3, 4 along the range, you can just leave it more open for more like wordy responses. What do you want to tell them? You can take the points away and just say, hey, here are a couple of things I'm looking for. Did you master it? Did you not? I can also use this rubric for assignment grading. This is something that you're going to have to go in and click for every assignment that you want to use in SpeedGrader. Otherwise, the rubric will just appear in SpeedGrader. You won't be able to actively click on it to select how many points you want to give the student for each section. It will just appear as a reference guide. If you don't go in and click use this rubric for assignment grading, you'll just see it as a reference. You won't be able to use it to grade. And then you can hide the score total if you really want to. Oh, what does this look like? So here is a discussion that we did in class. Here are all the requirements I had for them to discuss the wife of Bath and the story that we read. I wanted them to ask some questions about her and how did she go. This is mostly a student-led discussion. So there was nothing for them to submit on Canvas because it was entirely allowed. It was done as a discussion in class. But I did provide them a rubric beforehand. Here are the things I'm looking for. How prepared are you for the discussion? How insightful were your contributions? How much did you participate? Did you participate 3 times or more? Is it going to be a heavy participation? You get 5 points. 1 point, were you listening but you didn't participate? You didn't actually say anything in class. For here, a little bit of blank space in the middle built in for like half credit or partial credit along the way. So I built this rubric for the classroom discussion, and then I was able to add it here onto the assignment so the students can see it. Even though there's nothing for them to turn in, they see the requirements, they see the rubric. Once we have finished the discussion, I was able to view the rubric. I can open up the SpeedGrader. Even though there's nothing submitted, there is a SpeedGrader option here on the assignment they can see. When I open SpeedGrader, I'm able to view the rubric. And I can give students points. How well did they do? This student got full points. They were very prepared. Answers were fully accurate. I can also change it down, click which one I want them to have, and I can see the requirements that I had created in the rubric for that amount. If I only want to give them 1 point of partial credit, they were pretty unfamiliar enough. They actually did a really good job with this assignment. So I can see the rubric, select the number of points, click, 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 and then it will generate the grade for me. It will give a color if you are kind of in the middle. It will give you green if you did well. It will give you red if you need to work on that particular comment. But when I am adding things in this rubric here, I also have the option to leave a comment for each aspect of the rubric. So, yep, full marks for this section. You did really well. If I came down here and I deducted some points here, you only participated 2 or 3 times, then I might be able to leave them a comment that says, hey, I could see that you really wanted to jump in, be sure you raise your hand, things like that. You can leave comments and it really speeds up the grading a whole lot. It makes it go faster and it lets the student kind of see what the requirements are, what your expectations are, and it makes things a lot clearer and easier for everybody.